It's not Barley's fault that he was either pushed out, left behind, or just left to fend for himself in the bitter cold. We got a call on the cruelty and rescue line that there was a cat rummaging through someone's garbage who maybe was underweight and looked like it may be sick. So we responded to the call and found this scrappy little cat, later named Barley, that was sure enough digging through garbage. So I sat there in the snow with him and tried to give him a little bit of food and have him gain my trust, and sure enough, he ate a big chunk of food, and then he kind of just gave up and let me pick him up and take him back to the vehicle. We gave them a call ahead, let them know that we're coming with a cat who's in pretty poor condition, so that way the clinic has time to get warm fluids ready.
Well, Barley was in terrible condition when he arrived. He was extremely dehydrated. He was so weak that he could barely lift his head. His eyes were sunken, and his fur was so matted along his body that you couldn't even see his skin. It was a thick mat of fur everywhere.
When we first get a call like that, we never really know what to expect. It could end up just being a stray cat that's in someone's garbage, or it could be a much more serious situation like this, where this cat was probably near death when we arrived.
Once he was warmed up, we got him some food and sugar into his system, and got him started on some antibiotics for his upper respiratory infection and skin infection. After a day or two, once he was feeling a little better and was a little bit stronger, we had to actually knock him out under anesthesia in order to be able to shave him so that we could start from scratch, and so his skin could get exposure to air and allow healing. After all the mats were shaved off, his skin condition actually resolved pretty well, pretty quickly, but he did have an upper respiratory infection that lingered.
With Barley, it took him a few weeks, I think, to finally come out of his shell. Coming into the shelter environment is stressful for most cats, particularly for Barley. I mean, he was very matted and very poor condition and has to be examined thoroughly by a vet, and that's stressful enough as it is. So then once he's thrown in a cage, and it's kind of sterile, he wasn't excited to meet new people and to come out of his shell. So I just had to go very slow with him and be patient and give him all the time that he needed to come out of his shell and be the cat that we all knew was in there. Once he was consistent with his behavior and that he was seeking attention from multiple different people, not just, the same ones over and over again, I think that was a real clue that, it was time to get him out of here and find him a good home. I saw Paige come in one day. Actually, I believe I saw her come in a few times looking for cats, and I noticed that she was hanging around Barley's cage. She said that Barley had been through a lot in his life, and so had she. That really resonated with her. So, I went over and I said, oh, he's a great cat, he's our favorite, he's got that awesome purple sweater on, and he's a real love, and she spent some time with him and really decided that, he was the cat for her. I hear that Barley has pretty much got a full coat of hair now. He's gaining strength. He was very weak and emaciated when he first came in, and now he's put on the appropriate amount of weight and he's acting like a cat should. That's really what we like to see, especially with a cat that comes in that condition like Barley. We want to see that transformation of them actually learning how to be an animal again, learning how to be a cat again.
He didn't ask to be put in that situation, but he was, and luckily we were here to help him. We were able to get him the attention he needed, both medically and getting him behaviorally back up to normal. And without us being able to do that, Barley would not have had a second chance to live, and he probably would have been left there in the snow by himself that day.